Ready to rock?
Sure.
Do I look fat?
Yeah.
This episode is on insecurity, folks. Yeah. Very good. You can. She's counted down. Hold on. She counted down. She went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, and then it went like this.
Did I? I didn't
Yeah,
realize
you
it.
did once, twice.
Is there video proof of that?
That yes,
Oh,
there
okay.
is. That's the last.
That'll be the reel of the week.
The last time you're counting us in.
Hello
Officially.
and welcome to
Yes.
Too Real with Mike and Jillian Rosado.
Took 30 episodes for me to make the decision.
Are we at 30?
Yeah. 30
Wow.
episodes for me to make the decision that that's the last time you're counting us in.
Whatever.
But you have your Mint Majesty tea.
I do.
I have my coffee.
Trying to figure out the right place to put it.
Let's rock. We have a lot to cover, so let's just jump in. Can we do that? Jump in with
Let's
both
do it.
feet, right? We're going to see this.
Let's get nuts.
It's like, you know, when you're like, it's a cold, like the water's cold, but it's a nice day. And the water's like really cold, but everybody else is enjoying it. We're going to jump in with both feet.
All right. Go
You
ahead.
ready?
Yeah.
I want to talk about today handling insecurities. So they were working in the same dictionary. When I talk about insecurity, I think in our society nowadays, people just throw that word out a lot. Like, you're being insecure. Like, no, I'm presenting a concern, right? Here's what the true definition of insecurity. Insecurity are the moments or the state in which I am uncertain about myself.
Okay.
Okay. So that's when I say insecurity in this context, in this conversation, that's how we're defining insecurity. It's uncertainty in oneself. Okay. So, Jillian, you are a very intimidating woman.
Am I?
Yeah. So intimidating. I couldn't get that phrase out. You're intimidating woman.
He's shivering.
You're no, I am not intimidated.
I've been
by
told
you.
I'm intimidating multiple times.
Yeah. Especially when you were in the dating world, right?
Yes.
You were told you were intimidating.
You're really intimidating. I'm like, then you're not for me. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
So, but why do you think people were intimidated by you?
I
Specifically men, right? Let's just call it what it is. Guys that you were dating were intimidated by you. Why?
I think because I know what I want. I'm direct. I'm assertive. I come off as very confident. Yeah, I think some people can't handle that.
Right.
I'm decisive.
And the reason I bring that up is because, again, sometimes we miscommunicate what we're really saying. Sometimes it's not that you're intimidating. It's that there's qualities about you that bring out my insecurities.
Yes.
So rather than me taking ownership of my insecurity,
let's just blame me.
I'm just going to blame you and say that you're intimidating.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I think it's important.
Just knocked my tea all over
That would have been nice.
I'm
to have
doing
on
great
camera.
today, guys.
So that's
very
why
intimidating right now.
Very. That's why it's important for us to truly identify what insecurity is and then help people handle it. So first, handle it for yourself, and secondly, help other people handle it. So I think in this podcast specifically, like I want to talk about, I hope that you get principles about dealing with your personal anxiety, but you could check out other podcasts about that. But for us, I want to talk about how do you handle other people's insecurities and anxiety, right? Because we work with people, work with a lot of people, and at times we have to go face to face, not just with the person, but with their insecurities, right? But as much as people say you're intimidating, you do have insecurities.
Yeah, 100%.
What would you say are some of your insecurities?
In my role with the church and with the district, there are times that I'm
when she says district, she's talking about like
we're part of a denomination, and it's split into districts, and our district covers New Jersey and New York City, the boroughs, and a little bit of Philadelphia. When I'm in different environments, when it's people that like have completely grown up in church, gone to Bible college, all those things, sometimes I feel insecure in the room because I didn't come from that background. So my insecurity tells me, well, you're not as smart as them. You don't have a seat at the table. You don't have a voice in the room. And I know that's wrong, and it's something that I constantly battle. But that is something that I do struggle with for sure. Insecurities as a mom, which I feel like any mom or parent
Yeah.
struggles with at times. Like, oh my, do I really know what I'm doing? Is this the right decision? And that's all out of love because you want to make the best decision for your kids. I struggle with personal insecurities about the way I look and stuff like that. I'm getting older. Um, really, do I tox it up or what do I do? I want to look a little refreshed.
Do I tox it up? She's talking about Botox, people.
do I explore? Just because, yeah, I'm getting older and things just aren't the way they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it, insecurity wise. I don't, and you know me well. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't.
No, yeah, I think you hit the general areas of insecurity. But the funny thing is, you do come across confident.
Mm-hmm.
So are you confident? Would you consider yourself a confident person?
I would say I'm 85 to 90% confident.
85 to 90.
Yeah.
You don't sound confident with that statistic.
And the 10 to 15%, I'm rehearsing confidence.
Mm.
I was also raised by a really independent, strong-willed, confident woman. All my aunts and cousins were all very if you saw you would get it if you met us all together. But we all come across very confident, whether we are in the moment or not. It's just who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it safe to say that confidence and insecurity can coexist?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I think, and I'm because this is not just my couch to lay on, it's yours as well. I know that you're insecure in areas, but I think people that meet you would think that you're a very confident person. Mm-hmm. So I would ask you, do you believe that you battle your insecurity by rehearsing confidence?
Yes, but so let's jump the gun on that. Like when you say rehearsing confidence, I know what I mean by that, but what do you mean by that?
I mean, okay, I'm in the room and I might not know this thing that they're talking about, but I'm going to listen and listen really intently. I'm going to absorb it all, but I'm not going to cower and I'm not going to be like, well, I don't know. You know what I mean? I want to learn because I want to grow in that area. So rehearsing that confidence of, okay, I'm going to sit up straight. I'm going to be alert. I'm going to nod. I'm going to listen. I'm going to absorb.
Yeah.
So that it and those things like that body language and posture, it comes across as confidence.
Right.
So whether I might not be confident in the moment, I'm rehearsing it and I hope to grow. And that's also the thing, in any area that I'm insecure, I want to grow in that area because I don't want to be insecure.
Right.
So it's having that awareness of it and practicing and then learning to be no longer insecure in that area.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I noticed lately, and I may be jumping the gun here. I don't know what your notes are on this. I'm just coming along for the ride. But I see a lot of people nowadays, they're insecure in an area and they almost use it as you can't challenge me. This is just who I am. And there's not a desire to grow. And it's sad, honestly, because it's you're going to be living this really small protected life.
Yeah.
And you're actually holding yourself back from experiences and growth ultimately by not allowing people to challenge those insecurities.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just this. Well, I'm just that. Well, I'm just a lot of things too, but I don't want to be like that forever.
Right.
I want to grow. I want to go to new heights. You know what I mean? So it's concerning when I see that, to be honest. It's concerning and it's sad. And there are times where I get frustrated with it. But I try to understand where they're coming from and hopefully have a type of relationship with that person where I can start poking at that. Yo, what are you doing?
Right.
Have you ever thought about blah, blah, blah?
Right.
To try to challenge that because I obviously want everyone around me to grow.
Yeah.
Did I just jump ahead 5 points for you?
Kind of, but I think it's good. All the points you brought up is good. I think going back on the whole rehearsing confidence, I think for me, it's everything you said plus. For me, rehearsing confidence is recognizing the difference between me being honest and me being truthful. I know I'm more confident when I'm leaning on the truth, not leaning on my honesty. And what I mean by that is, um, it's fine to say I don't feel desirable today. That's you being honest,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's danger. You become insecure when you declare your honesty as truth, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I say I am not desirable,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lie,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you
Essentially, you're turning your emotions into facts.
exactly. And so rehearsing confidence is me saying bridging the honesty with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel desirable, but the truth is my wife loves me, my kids want me in my life, therefore I am desirable. You see
Yes.
that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think at times like it becomes false confidence when you try to tell yourself I'm all that in a bag of
Well, and that's
chips.
here's the thing. Like, I, it's the difference of, and I think you've used this analogy before. Like, you're 5'6".
No, 5, 6 3/4. That is the
Regardless,
truth.
that is the truth. You play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could be walking around like I'm going to play in the NBA. Nah,
So
bro. Like you're not. That's you could rehearse confidence like I'm going to play in the NBA, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like okay, at some point you also look like an idiot. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's rehearsing confidence within reason
yeah.
because some people could be like, "Well, that's like false like whatever." I don't know what the
You're
term
living
are.
in this false reality,
Yes,
or
yeah, and
yeah,
it's like no, but like
delusional.
yeah, but like for me, like in a room that I don't feel confident in, but I'm rehearsing confidence, I still belong in that room.
Right,
I still could do things to educate myself further and have a better understanding.
right,
So I'm not living in a false reality. I'm just rehearsing confidence of the person that I'm going to be in the future.
right, right. So if you bridge that honesty with truth, you could sit there and say, I don't feel as educated as everyone in the room, but I'm in the room for a reason.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that to me is rehearsing
Yeah.
confidence.
But you have some people that would be like, I don't belong in the room. Why am I here? Can you not invite me? Can I leave? Can I this? Can I that? And it's like, do you want to live that small of a life?
Right.
Like, and it's, I have compassion because it's like that insecurity shows such a low, almost opinion slash self esteem, which I wouldn't want anyone to have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's concerning that it's like that's as far as you see yourself going in
Right,
life. Like you
right,
don't see more for yourself.
right.
Um,
And this is the impact that I see in leading an organization. So hopefully anyone listening right now, you could see this with us, right? When you're with people, whether you're a supervisor, whether you're a parent, when you're working with people, this is the result of what insecurity can do in a work environment or a team environment. Like I've watched people, because of insecurity, criticize others to make themselves feel better,
mm-hmm,
and that is the epitome of insecurity,
mm-hmm,
right? So I've learned when I start, this person is super critical. Why are they super critical? 8 times out of 10, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but 8 times out of 10, it's because it's deep. That criticism is deeply rooted in their own insecurity. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? So I catch people that, oh, you're very critical right now, and every time they let me under the hood, and hey, let me ask you some questions. It's rooted in insecurity.
Yeah, because I forget who said this. Like you'll never be criticized by someone doing more than you.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So that concerns me when I see the insecurity in an organization. Or you alluded to this earlier, but I would say insecurity isn't teachable.
yeah.
It isn't teachable because it's protecting itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's incorrectable. It doesn't want to own up to anything. It wants to put the blame. It doesn't want to take responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and you just want to live in your honesty. And forgive me, I hate the term "your truth." Like, no, there is the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gravity is not just your truth. There is the truth of gravity, and at times when you're insecure, you just protect your own world, and you don't allow other people to come in and challenge you. You don't allow other people to correct you. And the reason that's scary for me, and I'm learning how to navigate this because, like you said, I come across confident. I do have my own insecurities, but I'm not a fragile person, so at times I don't know how to navigate fragility. And I don't think you do this intentionally, not you, but I'm saying you in general. Like, I don't think people do this intentionally, but like when you project, because you're insecurity, you project fragility, right? And then what you're doing, again, subliminally or consciously, you create this environment where you're like, if you check me at all, you will shatter me. You will destroy me, right? So then it makes your boss or makes your supervisor or makes your leader or captain, whatever, have to tiptoe around you.
Yeah.
Rather than telling you directly, yo, I love you. I believe in your potential, but you need to change this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And there's a hesitancy. The people who desire to help you grow, the people who desire to see you become successful, are walking around on eggshells because of your insecurity.
Yeah.
Because insecurity isn't teachable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like you said, it forces you to live in their small world. And it's like, and then, I do believe in toxic leadership. I do believe in abusive authority. But then sometimes, like, this world has just learned to leverage the victim card in any situation they have. And then they go, you hurt me. No, baby girl, I didn't hurt you. I challenged you.
Yeah.
Right. And hurting you means that, like, I'm like, have an intention to harm you. No, I have an intention to grow you. You're hurting yourself by not being teachable in this moment.
Yeah.
But you, instead of being teachable, instead of taking it, yep, I got it. It's not an attack on your value. It's just an attack on your performance. But the problem is insecurity finds value in performance. I'm preaching better than you listening.
It reminds me, I used to work in the mortgage industry for like 12 years. And I used to work with this person that when they would like always inevitably mess up on a file.
Right.
And our manager was always like hesitant to go over and correct them because every time she did, this person would like flip out and be like, I just suck at my job and, no one wants me here and you're just going to fire me and da-da-da-da. And like, it put my manager in this position like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
Because like this person's messing up and like it's costing the company money, number one. Number two, like tried to go at it with the, hey, like, can you work alongside this person? Just maybe there's something we're not getting. Oh, you just want to fire. Like every angle they tried to attack to try to help was just shut down immediately with this like, woe is me. You just want to fire me stuff. But ultimately they ended up getting fired because it was like, yo, we still have a job to do.
Yeah, for real.
You're not taking any assistance that we're offering. And the person then went online and this company doesn't care about its employees and da-da-da. And we're all sitting there like, what is happening?
Right.
But like, it's because they were insecure, they were not teachable, and they just continued to play the victim card. Even with when you don't have the awareness of it, there's nothing that a person can say or do to help you see that side. Like you do have to accept that for yourself, which takes a lot of humility.
Yes.
And I think insecurity stems from immaturity. And it's really hard to be humble when you're immature. So
say that for the people in the back.
It's very hard to be humble when you're immature. So your insecurity stems from your immaturity. You can't listen to anyone because you don't see it. You don't want to grow because you're immature.
Yeah.
And you don't have that slice of humble pie to take when someone says, hey, I see you, like you're not understanding the job and how it works. I've been trying to get you additional assistance. I've been trying to have you train with other people. You're just still not getting it. I don't know what else. I don't know what the solution is here. So we do have to let you go.
Yeah.
And that person, like, if they were humble and mature enough in the first couple times, like, hey, I see they're trying to work with me here. I'm not getting it. And them maybe just saying, hey, I'm just realizing this isn't working out. I'm not catching this. Is there another position that I could step into?
Right.
If not, I need to go somewhere else.
Right.
But that takes a lot of maturity and a lot of humility to go through.
Yeah. And the danger, you just got me on something that makes me tight. The danger is either that person gets fired or, again, consciously or unconsciously, they learn to manipulate their environment and they get promoted. Right. And they get promoted because, hey, it's better to just like give this person
They
shut
just
up
start
money.
shuffling them around
Right.
rather than dealing with the issue.
And then I've watched organizations empower these people that have learned to leverage their insecurity. And nothing's worse. There's no worse combination than power and insecurity. Because then it doesn't just stop at, you think you think, will it stop at the top when they're in control and they're in power? Absolutely not.
No, it'll get worse.
It'll get worse.
Because they're already immature. So
Right.
giving an immature person more power is just a recipe for disaster.
Right. And that sometimes we see that at the top. And you're looking at a person, and after a while, like, yeah, the people under you have no respect for you. The people under you don't even like pay attention and listen to you. Right. And, that person starts then firing other people. Right. And so there's massive turnover, and it's never, again, insecurity never takes responsibility. Never takes responsibility. The other thing that I've seen in the church world is that, and maybe this will apply also to other organizations, insecurity thrives on comfort. So since it thrives on comfort, it never thinks out of the box.
Yeah.
It can't think differently.
Yeah.
Because it only thinks in past experience.
Give an example of that.
So in the church world, right, when someone's insecure and say, hey, we're going to try something different. We're going to do something that we're going to do something creatively outside of the box on a Christmas service or something like that. Insecure people go, no, we can't do that. Well, why can't we do that? Because we've never done it that way, right? Whereas confident people are willing to think out the box and risk, because here's why. Taking a risk means that you might fail.
Yeah.
And failure to insecurity is so devastating, right? So I long to live in the box. So let's continue to sing the same songs, do the same service, maintain the same methods we've been doing for centuries. Not because it works or it doesn't even matter. It's because I find comfort in that.
Yeah.
And that is driven and rooted with a heart of insecurity.
Yeah.
So I have found that only confidence can really think differently and think outside the box.
Yeah.
And are willing to take risks because our worth isn't attached to whether we fail or succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This might be, I don't know if this is necessarily going to fall in line with this topic. I think it is. Something I see often is I'm like on Facebook to post pictures so my family can see. But every time I'm on it, I scroll a couple posts, I get irritated and I log off. So I'm just disclaimering this because some people will be like, I messaged you. I'm like, first of all, I never look at Facebook Messenger. Email me. Yeah. I have zero desire to look at everyone's trying to sell me something. Anyway, that was a tangent. I often I'll scroll and I'll see a post and it'll say trigger warning or I'm triggered. Yeah. Can you connect triggered and insecurity with me? Because you
get triggered by triggered.
I'm going to get crap for this. I get annoyed when someone's like, I'm so triggered, or that word triggers me, or like, that's your issue. Go get healing.
Yeah.
Like, this word is not offensive. We get it all the time. Excellence. Oh, I'm triggered. Like, that's your issue.
Right.
Like, we want to do the best we can with what we have where we're at.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life, not just the way we run this church.
Yeah.
I want to do the best I can with what I have where I'm at, because I'm only here for a short time and I want to make it a good time.
Right.
So, but people get triggered by that. And it's like, I don't feel, and this may be harsh, but I don't feel that I have to edit my vocabulary because you have an issue that you're not going to get healing on, when there's nothing wrong with this word or this phrase or this action. That it's your problem. It's the same thing with me being intimidating. That's not my problem. That's your issue.
Yeah. That goes back to the whole, like I said, insecurity thrives in comfort. So if I am uncomfortable, and this is the problem, you've turned anything that's uncomfortable, anything that is uncomfortable in your head, you deemed as immoral, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just uncomfortable, it's wrong now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And when it's wrong, then it's a trigger.
Yeah.
And again, like, if you're a public speaker or a person doing anything on social media, like, if you continue to just curate everyone's triggers, there'll be a day where you won't be able to say anything.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just don't know. I don't know what your trigger
I said
word
something recently and someone was like, "Oh, did you know blah, blah, blah?" I'm like, no, I didn't, and I don't care.
Right.
Like, it's not my problem.
Right. And it stops, like, it stops the world from actually communicating with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of me focusing on the word you chose, let me focus more on the heart and the spirit for which is what's behind it, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of words I don't like,
Mm-hmm.
right? But why am I? And what we do is we hold other people responsible for our insecurity,
Yeah.
and that creates a toxic work environment.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's always talking about toxic leadership. I believe that an unchecked leader is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
but so is an unchecked crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So is an unchecked audience,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my fear is that in this modern day society where everything's built on consensus, we're downgrading the leader to the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
because leaders have gone unchecked.
Yeah.
Because we probably let insecurity find its way to power.
Mm-hmm.
But I think humanity, we all need leaders and oversight over us to grow, right?
Yeah.
Everyone needs a coach.
If everyone's in charge, then nobody's in charge.
Exactly. And it does. The world cannot run that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Whatever utopian desire you have doesn't work, and it doesn't exist. Everyone needs to submit under authority. It's necessary and it's proper. And I think it's actually healthy when you submit yourself.
But like, if we have 2 teenage boys, and if raising them, we were just like, do whatever you want. There's no rules. We're not in charge. Like,
we're gonna
whatever
vote on what we're gonna have for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah.
If we did, we'd have chicken fingers. I mean, yeah, we'd have chicken fingers and French fries every night.
Now, why did you bring that up? Oh my God.
You know,
for some reason, I'm like, oh, I would love some chicken fingers.
Right.
But no, it's true. Like, and there would be a bedtime, and they want to go to school and all those things, but because nobody's in charge, because there shouldn't be anyone in charge. Like, it's a disaster.
Right. Right. And the point is, all of us, the leader and the team, has to surrender their insecurity for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when things get healthy. People think healthy means that there's no one with authority. No. Things are healthy when we all understand our role, and we don't cater to our insecurities. We cater to the goal of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that applies for anything, family, businesses, everything. Like, when we do that, but it has to get to the point where you learn to navigate and own and be responsible for your own insecurities.
Yeah.
Until that happens, you're not going to grow, the organization's not going to grow, and your team's not going to win.
So, like, maybe Botox isn't a bad thing.
Shut up. How about the value of my husband still wants me, and that's good enough. So save your money.
You probably wouldn't even notice if I got it.
Isn't that a problem?
I could have it right now. You wouldn't even know.
Probably not. And I still love and adore you and want you.
I know.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of money. Anyway, let's wrap this episode up. What can they do to help us out in this podcast?
Oh my goodness.
Jill?
What are we doing? We're on YouTube. If you want to say hi. Hey. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can leave comments on our videos. We love to see that. We are on all the podcasting platforms. The most often used ones for this podcast, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Those always have the highest rates of listening. So if you follow us on there, subscribe to us on there, leave us a review. Those help. Share our posts on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Jillian Rosado. He's at Mike Rosado.
Do me a favor. This specific episode 30, can you share it? I know darn well you know some insecure people. So this is like a passive aggressive way that you could get them to work on themselves and throw a bug in their ear, or, share it with your spouse. Just share this episode specifically.
Yeah.
And catch us in the next one.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
Awesome.
All right. We will see you next Wednesday right here. Too Real. Bye.
Deuces.